Hello, my name's David, and I work for Christian Aid as the Church Engagement and Fundraising Officer for Somerset and Dorset, and I also live in Winscombe, so not too far from Banwell and Congresbury. I want to be completely honest at the start of this video and say I find prayer a real challenge, because I think it's so much more than the words we say. It's much more about the actions that we take as a result of the words we say in prayer. Obviously, in my role, I get to see some of the tragic devastation across the world that causes chaos and devastation for many vulnerable families. And in that context, it's surely quite easy to become disheartened that anything will ever change. Indeed, I once gave that as a response in an interview for a course I wanted to attend on instigating change. Now, thankfully, those leading the course were able to help me see that change is happening all the time. Of course, it's not always the change that we want to see. So how do we achieve positive transformation through prayer? How do we make the world a better place? Sometimes we can't always see that things are improving, and that can be a problem. I recently completed an online survey that was testing my knowledge on what positive change has occurred in the world. My answers indicated that I got slightly better than if I'd just chosen at random. Thankfully, in many places across the world, life is getting better for the poorest on our planet. Life is improving for them in the terms of their life expectancy, their ability to access health and education. But we're not always listening to the right voices to hear the change that is happening. And so I think we need to be able to hear the right voices and hear the messages that are coming through to us about the world in which we live. I'd love to be a better photographer. And one piece of advice that was given to me by a fantastic photographer with whom I was able to work was to stand in a different place to get a better picture. I don't always remember to do that when I'm taking photos, but when I do, I get to see things from a different perspective. And usually the image can become much better because it's a more compelling image and we see things in different ways. It's more captivating. Unfortunately, getting in those positions sometimes means standing in a difficult and an uncomfortable position. And you can look a bit weird crouching on the floor or ascending a wall to get the right shot. And in the same way, standing up for justice, equality, and dignity means being courageous and being prepared to stand up and make your voice heard. And of course, there's been a long history of people being prepared to do that, to bring transformation through being courageous through their words and their actions and their prayers. We've recently featured a story of a family in Malawi, and Jen, in the story, in the family that we've been supporting in Malawi, is cupping some pigeon peas, and they seem so insignificant. We know pigeon peas in this country as yellow split peas, and she cups a handful of these pigeon peas in her hand, and it's a powerful image of the transformation that has been able to occur because of the very small changes that she's been able to make through the support of people who support Christian Aid. Her family has been transformed. She's been able to feed her family and also provide funds for education for all of her children, which she had previously been unable to do. And it's just this small intervention of these pigeon peas, which are a drought-resistant crop, which have enabled her to be able to make a difference to her family and families around her. And it's not just the small intervention, it's also the fact that she's been working together with other people in the community. And I think it's so important that when we see these small interventions, we celebrate the transformation that has occurred. And it makes us think that the small interventions that we can make in the world will make a difference to the lives of other people. So for me, prayer is much more about trying to become aligned to God's priorities than trying to bend God to mine. When we try and stand in the right place to see the world how God sees it and become an active participant in making things better, we fulfill the purpose for which we're created. On our own, we can't bring the change that we want to see. We can bring about change when we work together with other people, by seeing that small changes make a big difference, by having a shared vision of the world we want to create, and being ready to participate as active participants. Together, we can enable people to experience justice, dignity, equality, and justice, and be the answer to their prayers. Together, we can create a world where everyone can live a full life, free from poverty. Our voices make a difference when we understand God's perspective of the world, and our actions and our prayers become stronger together. Together, we're united in hope for a better world.